So the NBA draft just happened this Wednesday, and there are certain teams who made wise decisions and some who didn't. Some teams got exactly who they wanted, and some teams had to settle for a prospect that they didn't want. But in today's video, we will be talking about the teams that made the right moves and got the players that they wanted. Please like this video to show support, subscribe to the channel to help me reach 500 subscribers before the end of 2020, and comment on this video to start a conversation with me. And play that intro. The Detroit Pistons are known as one of the most middle-pack franchise of the past few years. But despite that, on Wednesday night, they did very well in the draft. They made many moves, such as them being involved in a 3-team deal that sent Luke Kennard to the Clippers, Landry Shamet to the Nets, and the 19th pick in the 2020 NBA draft to the Pistons, which they used to draft Saddiq Bey. They also were able to select Killian Hayes with the 7th pick, and with the 16th pick, they selected Isaiah Stewart. This draft is a win for them because with all 3 first-round picks, they selected 3 solid prospects. And before this trade, the Pistons were one of the worst teams in the league, and they barely had any good young players besides Sekou Doumbouya and Christian Wood. But them adding 3 solid prospects to their roster helped steer them in the right direction. Killian Hayes is a 6'5" guard who has the ability to guard 1s and 2s, and he has good athleticism and finishes well at the rim. He can shoot well off the dribble and has even shown some capability to hit step-back 3s. He is one of the best passers in the draft due to him being able to make certain passes other PGs can't make due to his height. Isaiah Stewart is a very strong center who has an NBA-ready body. He is a smaller center with him being only 6'9", but he makes up with it for effort, tremendous strength, and his massive 7'4" wingspan. He is absolutely relentless going for offensive rebounds. He also shot 77% from the line, so that leads me to believe he can be a solid shooter at some point in his career. He is not great at guarding perimeter players, and he gets blown by, but I think Isaiah can be a good energy big man. They also selected Saddiq Bey, who is a versatile forward with solid physical attributes, with him being 6'8" with a 6'11" wingspan. He is one of the best shooters in the draft, and with him shooting 45% from 3 on 6 attempts in college, I can see Saddiq being a good 3-and-D player who can be a good supporting player in Detroit's rebuild. Detroit took all W's in this draft, and it shouldn't be unnoticed. The next team that I believe won in this 2020 NBA draft is the Sacramento Kings, who had the 12th pick. No one expected the Kings to get a significant player, maybe a good bench player at best, but not one of the best prospects in the draft in Tyrese Halliburton. Prior to the draft, Tyrese was seen as a player who could go as high as even the 4th pick, and with him falling all the way to 12, he has to be the biggest surprise. Tyrese is a 6'5" guard with the ability to guard 1s and 2s, and his IQ stands out as a player because he is a very creative passer who is great in the pick and roll. Halliburton in college was a 43% 3-point shooter, so it appears he could be a good shooter in the league. Tyrese could fit well with the Sacramento Kings due to him being 6'5", and he could play shooting guard alongside De'Aaron Fox. Buddy Hield seems like he will get traded, so that will free up the starting shooting guard spot for Halliburton. The Kings with this selection might have gotten the biggest draft steal, so that has to be a win. Before the NBA draft even started, Philly was already a winner, due to them getting rid of Al Horford's huge contract, which was in a trade of Al Horford, a Philadelphia 2025 first-round pick, and a second-round pick to OKC, and Danny Green and Terrence Ferguson to Philadelphia. The Sixers also added one of the best shooters in the NBA in Seth Curry, in a trade that included Josh Richardson and the 36th pick to the Mavericks and Seth Curry to Philly. Doing those moves would make them one of the best winners in the draft without even drafting a single player. but they also selected Tyrese Maxey with the 21st pick in the draft. Maxey can be an okay ball handler for the Sixers, and he's just a pure scorer who has the ability to put the ball in the net all over the floor. The main fear with him is the fact that he shot 29% from 3 in college. But nonetheless, he is still a steal at pick 21, and Philadelphia also got rid of a huge contract and they got more shooting. This has to be viewed as a win. The Charlotte Hornets are one of the draft winners due to them getting LaMelo Ball, who in many mock drafts was not expected to get him. The Hornets selecting LaMelo finally gives them a player to build around. LaMelo's passing and scoring ability will make him very good for Charlotte, and no matter who they selected from the top 3, it would have been a win since they lack a player to rebuild around. The last winner of this draft, in my opinion, is the Washington Wizards, who with the 9th pick selected Deni Avdija. With the pick, Deni falling to 9 was pretty surprising, since many people thought he could go as high as 4th to Chicago, but the Wizards getting a player like that, who can potentially be the biggest steal, is just amazing for them. Deni is a 6'9" power forward who can handle the ball, and despite having the size of a forward, he has the creativity and playmaking skill of a guard. Deni is not a consistent shooter, but he has shown the willingness to shoot pull-up threes, which shows confidence, and he has a great feel for the game and is a good cutter. He's a solid defender and won't be a liability, but he won't be a lockdown defender. Washington is a team that will be looking to make the playoffs, and Deni is a prospect who could be good straight out the gate due to him being more experienced versus grown men overseas. Deni might be the best player from this draft, and the fact that he got selected at the 9th pick has to be a win. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Please drop a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel to help me reach 500 subscribers before the end of 2020, and comment on this video to start a conversation with me. Also check out these 2 videos up above if you like this one, and I'm out!